You are standing inside an elevator, watching the numbers go up 12th, 13th, finally 14th floor. Your hand is slightly sweaty. Your bag feels heavier than usual. And somewhere between the 15th and 18th floor, one question keeps repeating in your head. Did I just make the biggest career mistake? But to understand why you are here, on your first day at a startup, you have to go back 3 years. You have finally graduated. Maybe not from an IIT, maybe not from a top NIT, maybe from a tier 2 or a tier 3 college in India, where placements are not guaranteed dreams, they are survival battles. And still, you made it. You got placed, a service based mass recruiter, TCS, Infosys, WIPRO, HCL, the typical witch world. And honestly, you are happy. Because while many of your friends are still applying, still waiting, still refreshing job portals, you have an offer letter. You have an employee ID. You have a joining date. For the first time, you feel like life is finally moving. At the end of every month, your salary comes in. Maybe it is not the salary you once imagined. Maybe after rent, food, travel, family expenses, and a little bit of saving, there is not much left. But still, it is your money, your first salary, your first swipe at independence. You are content. You tell yourself this is a good start. And it is. For the next 3 years, you learn. Maybe your first project is not exciting. Maybe you spend months fixing tickets, attending status calls, updating Excel sheets, writing emails, and waiting for approvals from 5 different people. But slowly, something changes. You learn how corporate life works. You learn communication. You learn stakeholder management. You learn how to explain a delay without sounding irresponsible. You learn how to speak in meetings. You learn how to handle pressure from managers, clients, teammates, and deadlines. And somewhere in that process, you become more confident. You start thinking, I can do more than this. You see people switching jobs, you hear salaries doubling, you see LinkedIn posts saying, happy to share that I am starting a new position. And one day you finally decide it is your turn. You update your resume, you apply, you message recruiters, you prepare after office hours, you get rejected, you get ghosted, and you question yourself. And then suddenly things started working. One interview goes well, then another, and finally, congratulations, you get two offers. One from another service based or consulting company like Deloitte, KPMG, EY, PwC, a safer brand, better salary, better title, and most of all, familiar structure. And another offer from a startup, a company founded just a couple of years ago. Small team, faster growth, more ownership, but more uncertainty. And now your happiness becomes confusion because this is not just a job switch anymore. This is a life choice. One path feels safe, the other feels alive. One path gives you structure, the other gives you chaos. One path gives you a brand name, the other gives you a battlefield. So you do what everyone does when they are confused. You ask people, you ask seniors, and one says market is not that good right now. Don't take risks, join the stable company. Another one says startups are great only if you get equity. Someone says work life balance will be destroyed. Someone else says this is where real learning happens. And after listening to everyone, somehow you are more confused than before because everyone is giving you advice from their own fear, their own ambition, and their own experiences. But nobody can live your life for you. And that is when the real truth hits you. There is no perfect answer, there are only different paths. And whichever path you choose, you will have to own it. So you start researching the startup, you check LinkedIn, and that is when your confidence takes a hit. The people working there look terrifyingly impressive. Top IITs, Ivy League colleges, ex founders, people who have worked at companies you once only read about. And suddenly your mind starts whispering, are you sure you belong here? You came from a tier 3 college. You worked in a mass recruiter company. What if they found out you are not that smart? This is the moment where many people step back, but you don't, because deep down you are tired of playing safe. You are tired of waiting for someone to give you permission. You are tired of being one employee among thousands. You want to know why. So you say yes to the startup. And now we are back in that elevator. The doors open on the 18th floor. You step out into the corporate building with 24 floors. You walk through a long corridor, trying to look calm while your heart is doing its own sprint. At the end of the corridor, you see the office block. You enter, it is not some fancy, big, service based office. It's just a simple startup office. No beanbags everywhere, no free gourmet food counter, no people playing table tennis, just small cabins, decent furniture, MacBooks open, people logged into their work. And you think, okay, this is real. Then something happens that would have felt impossible in your previous company. You meet the CEO on your very first day. Not in some yearly town hall with 5,000 people watching a live stream. Not as a name in an email. You actually meet the CEO. The person building the company is sitting in the same office as you, talking to people, making decisions, asking questions, and you think, wow, this is different. At first, everything feels exciting: new laptop, new people, new systems, new energy. But then the work starts coming, and it does not come slowly, it piles up. Tasks with your name on them, calls you cannot hide from, deadlines that are not suggestions, problems that do not have step by step documentation. In your previous company, if something broke, there was usually a process, a team, a senior, a backup, an escalation matrix. Here, sometimes the escalation matrix is just you. For the first few months, you push through. You work late, you learn quickly, you make mistakes, you fix them, you ask questions, and sometimes feel stupid asking them. You attend meetings where everyone seems sharper, faster, and more experienced. And then one night, while staring at your laptop, exhausted, you ask yourself, did I choose the wrong path? Maybe I'm not made for startup life. Maybe safe was better. This is the part nobody shows on LinkedIn: the fear, the self doubt, the Sunday anxiety, the pressure of knowing that your work actually matters because there are not 10 people behind you to absorb the impact. But you keep going. Not because you are fearless, but because you are already here. And slowly something begins to shift. You stop waiting to be told everything. You start taking ownership. You start understanding the business, not just your task. You stop thinking like an employee who completes tickets, and you start thinking like someone responsible for outcomes. And people notice. Your senior notices, the CEO notices. You are given higher value work, and suddenly you are on calls with CEOs of other organizations. You are working with CTOs. You are part of discussions that in a large service based company might have taken you 10 years to reach. At first, you are nervous. Your voice shakes slightly. You prepare too much. You replay every sentence after the meeting. But meeting by meeting, call by call, you improve. You realize you can handle pressure. You realize you can communicate with leadership. You realize you understand more than you thought. And most importantly, you realize something powerful. You had skills you never knew existed. Not because you did not have them before, but because your old environment never forced them to come out. Sometimes comfort does not just protect you, sometimes it hides you from yourself. 1 year passes. Not easily, but meaningfully. You are not the same person who walked into that office on day one. You are sharper now, faster, more accountable, more confident. You still make mistakes, but they do not break you like before. You have learned how to survive ambiguity. You have learned how to speak when senior people are in the room. You have learned that ownership is heavy, but it also builds strength. Then one day you open your inbox, there is an email, your very first year anniversary, a small appreciation note, a token from the CEO. Nothing too dramatic, no music, no life changing bonus falling from the sky, but still you smile because you know what that email really means. It means you stayed, it means you survived the confusion, the fear, the pressure, and the self doubt. It means the decision you were so scared to make did not destroy you, it built you. And now you understand the lesson. The service company was not a mistake. It gave you your foundation. It gave you your very first salary, your first confidence, your first lessons in professionalism. But the startup gave you something else. It gave you proof. Proof that you could take responsibility. Proof that you could sit in rooms you once thought were reserved for smarter people. Proof that your college year did not define your ceiling. Proof that playing hard does not always mean losing safety. Sometimes it means earning a stronger version of yourself. And maybe this is the real story. Not startup versus service company, not safe versus risky, not brand name versus ownership. The real story is that at some point in your career, you will have to stop asking everyone else what the right choice is. Because the right choice is not always the easiest one. It is the one you are willing to own. And you owned it. You took the harder road. You played the hard ball. And now, for the rest of your life, wherever you go, whatever company you join, whatever title you carry, one thing will stay with you. You know you can do difficult things. And once you know that, nobody can take it away from you.